Hey guys, welcome. This is Ron Douglas from Writer Help Wanted, and I'm here with my partner Alice Eba. And today we're going to have the Writer Help Wanted Quick Start Success Workshop. And if you're a customer of Writer Help Wanted, we want this to help you succeed and move along with the program and succeed faster. And if you're not a customer watching this, we sometimes occasionally we let some non-customers on just to get a sneak peek of what we're doing behind the scenes to kind of make your decision to join Writer Help Wanted a little bit easier. So that's what this is all about today. And by the end of this presentation, you will discover the number one thing you need to make real money from your writing and how we can help you get there. How does that sound? If that sounds good to you, type yes, type hell yes into the questions box. Let me see it. This is going to be an interactive presentation. Get used to using that questions box. We're going to be answering your questions live, and we're going to be giving you the answers and the feedback that you're looking for, and hopefully we can find the right solution for you. So before we start, please turn off all distractions. Be ready to take notes. And as I said, find that questions box on the right, and please participate. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to go within the flow of the presentation, and if your question is related to what we're talking about, if we can squeeze it in, we'll do it right then. If not, then we'll save it to the end when we have our Q&A session. First of all, I'd like to thank you. Thank you all for coming on. I know you could be doing other things. Thank you for being a member or a subscriber to Writer Help Wanted. We appreciate you. You are the folks that we do this for. Without you, it wouldn't be any Writer Help Wanted, so thank you for that. And who are we? If you're not familiar with us, Alice Eba, she's a work-at-home mom who happens to be one of the foremost content marketing experts online. She's been doing this over a decade. She has over 20,000 satisfied customers who buy her content over and over every year, month after month. I mean, she has a nice recurring business set up in that regard. And I'm Ron Douglas. If you haven't heard of me, I'm a New York Times bestselling author. I've sold over 1 million books with Simon & Schuster, and I've sold a bunch of books and ebooks self-published as well. And I started online back in 2001, and I started selling books and ebooks in 2003. So I'm a dinosaur in internet age, I suppose. I've been featured on Fox News, Good Morning America, People Magazine, you name it. You can YouTube me, and you can see all type of different interviews. Wendy Williams is probably one of the funniest ones. So as you can see, we're professional writers who are here to help you succeed. We know what we're talking about, and we know how to monetize content, how to monetize your writing, whether it be books, whether it be finding a writing job, finding a gig, finding freelance gigs, whether it be selling content. We know how to do it. So here's what we're going to cover, what to focus on in the members area. We're going to go over the members area, show you what to focus on, because there's so much content in there, so much value in there that you might get lost, you might have information overload. So we're going to show you exactly how to get started, what to focus on in there. We're going to talk about how to best monetize your writing skills, right? Because that's a lot of, there's a lot of people who are starving artists or starving writers who have really good writing skills or who have really good grammar. We have people that correct us all the time with our bad grammar. And, but at the same time, we have this one lady who keeps correcting us in our grammar and keeps asking us to hire her as a proofreader. So, I mean, those people are not often the highest money makers in the world. So we're going to teach you how to monetize your writing, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? You want to make money. You want to make this a business. You want to not just write and have nobody buy your book or nobody use your services or nobody want to hire you. You want to monetize. So we're also going to talk about how to go from part-time to full-time income, and you can actually write for a living. We write for a living. We have people in our community on writerhelpwanted.com who write for a living, lots of them. And it is possible. The internet is all about content. People need content. People buy books. People buy Kindle ebooks. People need your writing skills, need your content, need your work, your talent. And you could turn it into a full-time business by building a following, by having repeat customers. I'm going to talk about how to do that, by being found online, which is what we've become experts in. And that good segue into the next point, right? How to be found online. Search engine and social media tips, some of the things we're going to talk about tonight. So first, we're going to ask some questions here just to kind of get a feel for the audience. And if you guys can type into your questions box there or your chat box, Someone says I'm going too fast. I'm just excited. I'm pumped up, fired up.
Slow down.
So I'm going to slow down a little bit. All right. It's that Red Bull. I think it's the Red Bull I've been drinking. What kind of writing?
Oh, what?
What kind of writing do you specialize in? What are people saying, Alice? I see crime fiction.
Yeah, grant writing, corporate writing, business writing, technical writing.
Wow, that's awesome.
Health kind of writing, SEO, content, it looks like, books, novels, copywriting, self-help.
Wow, so as you can see, we have all type of people with all type of different specializations. Right on this.
Anything that's funny, that sounds interesting.
Cool. So who this presentation is for, it's really for professional writers, freelance writers, authors, Kindle publishers, PLR sellers, information product sellers, basically anyone interested in building an audience. And that, you'll get a lot of value out of this presentation tonight. So let's talk about some of our recent success stories. And I had this post that I posted in the members area in the Elite Writers Lab of Writer Help Wanted on Facebook, pretty much saying when there was a time when I was first getting started where I thought I could never really make this work. I had my doubts. I had my dark days where I had these self-doubts that said to me, what are you doing? This is just some fad. It's not going to work for you. Get a real job. Stick with your real job. You're never going to turn this into a full-time income. And the thing that got me through those dark days and kept me motivated was just being surrounded by people online that were really doing it and sharing their success stories and sharing what was working for them. So I'm going to let Alice walk you through some of these recent success stories. And these are not all the ones. These are just the recent ones that we've had from some of our clients and customers online. And we're going to just talk about what they're doing and what's working out there.
Yeah, and these are, some of these things seem kind of small too, but they're things that they were, the motivation came, the information they needed came just to get these small steps done. And each small step that you get done is getting you closer to your goal. So it's about moving forward and doing those things that you need to do, which a lot of writers, think about. I might do it. I'm going to do it someday. But it's about doing it now. So Patricia Ogilvie tells us, since joining this noble, awesome group of pros, I've been inspired to write more, get on a trend bandwagon, and even believe solidly I will make money. She had her cover ready, content ready, and she was publishing a few hours away. But then she ended up telling it's live now. Her book is up and it's ready to go. And so, fantastic. There you go. Someone's got a book up.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, that's an example of someone taking action. I remember she was in the group asking questions, and she actually, took action on the advice that she was given and made it happen. Now she has her book out there ready. She's an author.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And to clarify, too, for people who don't know, the Elite Writers Lab is an optional extra add-on after you sign up for Writer Help Wanted, too. But it's so worth it. Like what you said about is really important for me back in the days too, was when people were on message board forums more often. Now you don't find those as readily, but having that contact, people to share stuff with and to ask questions and feel like, you're not there by yourself and you're seeing other people do great things and you can follow them is really very valuable.
Exactly. So let's go on. Let's talk about Hays.
Hays was wonderful, actually. This is like the third update she gave us. I think the first one she said she got her Kindle book up and she already made a sale. She just got it out there. And then the next one she came to tell us about this great client that she managed to acquire. So here, and I'll read it, I guess, for anybody who maybe can't see, I'll read part of it, and it says, she actually stopped coming to the group so much, and she said, "Hi, everyone. I haven't been on here much. I finally got so much work I got myself backed up. I just wanted to tell everyone thank you. You've given me the courage and the knowledge to do this. I'm so proud to be able to post this." And it goes from there. So, she's growing and getting those clients and doing different things. And she mentions about, and I think we'll talk about this later, about, getting the right clients, but she says that, she started with a low price, but she's already starting to get some major projects and she's going to move up from there as well. So it's very good stuff, very inspiring for people.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. That's one of the things we preach also is how to position yourself as
Hmm.
the premium
Hmm.
service or the authority on the subject or the premium price product. You know, you don't want to be the Toyota, you want to be the Lexus. You know, you want to be the Ferrari, you want to be the Bentley. You know, like some of these cars, the same exact car. It's like it's not much difference between a Porsche and a Volvo. They pretty much use the same engine and a lot of the same parts, but the Porsche can demand, you know, 4 times the greater price because it positions itself as the premium option. So
Hmm.
that's how we teach you to actually position yourself as a premium option. And that's the way you stand out in the market. Everybody's trying to, it's like a race to the bottom. Everyone's trying to charge the lowest price. But people know that you get what you pay for, you know, and that's what you want to keep in mind.
Hmm.
Let's talk about Becky.
Becky says, after months of fiddling around trying to get some actual content up on my site so I could get rolling, as of today, I do have content on my writer website and on her PLR store. And she said that she did this all since becoming a member of Writer Help Wanted, which at that time had only been a couple of weeks. And she says, I feel that I'm ready now if somebody actually goes to some of my sites. So she's started to work on the next part, right? So it's one step at a time. Again, you know, taking that action, because if you don't have anything for your customers to see, then they're, you know, they're just not going to come.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, part of this is just putting your stuff out there for people to see. I mean, that's half the battle. Once you do that, you figure out how to get it in front of people. You figure out how to promote it. But part of it is just kind of saying to yourself, okay, you know, if I have services I want to offer, I'm going to put my stuff out there. If I have an expertise that I want to get hired for, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to put myself out there so people can find me. Because, you know, people, even if you apply for a job, they're going to look online and see what they can find about you. So you want them to be able to find you. If you're selling a product, if you're selling, you know, some type of service, you want to put it out there so people can find you. And we'll show you exactly how to do that. And that's, you know, that's the first step in the
Mm-hmm.
battle right there.
All
Susan,
right,
this
and
one
this
was
one's,
inspiring.
yes, it was good. You know, shared some content, and then she was decided that, you know, she was about to talk to a potential client and decided that she would just, I think, what did she say? Was it it was double the price? Yes, she just gave the client double the price, and they said yes, and she was shocked because I guess she didn't really understand how valuable her services were, and that was just reinforcement for her to know that, you know, it is valuable and people are willing to pay it, and the client hired her.
Yeah, she said her palms were sweaty, and now she's gonna wait and see if they proceed. And then
Oh
she
yes, and then
came
she
back an
came back
hour
an
later.
hour later.
She just received a phone call. When can I start? Awesome. No more underpricing. So we just increased her income with that one mindset shift of
Hmm.
charging what you're worth. Let's talk about Karen. So excited.
Yes. She said, started working on this program a couple of weeks ago. Once I got a few other things out of the way, and I've just secured my first copywriting client who is willing to pay what I have asked for, which is way more than I thought I could dream of before. And the bonus, she says that if I do well as a business strategist, she has plenty of other people to refer on.
Exactly.
So, yes, and that is the great thing too. And, you know, if she has her a website established that, you know, clients can see it, they can see she looks professional, they can refer others, and that's really how the clients grow. That's when I used to do copywriting and ghostwriting myself, that, you know, most of it was referrals, and it was because I had that professional presence that, you know, my clients could send other people to.
Exactly. And copywriters can charge upwards of $5,000, $10,000 to do a sales page. Because the reason people are willing to pay that, because they know for every 1,000 people that come to their website, if they have a good sales page, they might make X number of additional sales from it, which is actually money in their pocket because they were willing to pay a little bit for a copywriter, or pay, you know, pay a decent price for a copywriter. You get what you pay for again. And the better your conversion, if you can increase your conversion on your sales page by 1% over time, that's the copywriting services are paid for just from that alone. And people know that, and copywriters are in huge demand. And I tell the story about my friend Sharish, and it was a real inspiring story. I met him at an event, and he had been following me online, and he said that he was inspired by me, and he was telling me his story, and his story actually inspired me more than anything else. He's a single dad, and he was down on his luck, and he was trying internet marketing. He was out of work, couldn't find a job, had been trying to make money online, and he was a copywriter. He's a good copywriter and couldn't find work. And he was down to his last few dollars. So what he did was, he was concerned that he wouldn't be able to feed his kids. So he took the initiative to write a letter to 19 of the top internet marketers online. And he knows that these internet marketers are the ones that hire copywriters. So he wrote this letter to them, and he sent it out to 19 copywriters, because literally that was all the money he had for stamps. He had enough stamps, enough money for stamps to send it out to 19 copywriters, 19 marketers. And he told them his story about how he just wanted to make some money to feed his kid. He's a single dad, was struggling to pay the rent, struggling to keep food on the table. So he sent out to 19 internet marketers, and he got a response back from one of them. And this one internet marketer said, hey, I'm willing to bring you on. If your copy converts, if it works, then I'll pay you. If not, then, you just use the experience and move on to the next gig. So it was pretty much a deal where if it worked, if it converted, then he was going to pay him. If not, then he wouldn't. So he wrote this copy for this top marketer. He agreed to do it. And that sales page that he wrote ended up making $1.8 million in sales. $1.8 million. So it was such a success. Now people are beating down his door for him to do jobs. Now he's charging upwards of $10,000 a month just from that one breakthrough. $10,000 per sales page just from that one breakthrough that he had, just from that one guy responding to his letter, him writing copy. And the guy brought him out to his event. They had an event where all these different internet marketers came to. Over 500 internet marketers were at this event. And he brought him on stage and said, this is the guy that wrote the sales letter that got all of you guys to this event. It wrote the sales letter that helped me do $1.8 million in sales. By the time he left there, he had over a dozen people wanting to pay him upwards of $10,000 for his copywriting services. So he went from not knowing how to feed his kid, not being able to pay the bills to buy groceries, to now he's a six-figure copywriter. He makes over 6 figures a year, and he's turning people away. So that's just an inspiring story, and it just goes to show what happens when you take action and when you have a skill and you put your stuff out there, and offer that skill to someone.
Yeah, and there's a really good lesson in that too. But first, actually, if we can, I've just noticed that Karen is actually here, and she wrote that the client had commented that she wanted to work with her because of the way she had written the copy on her own site. So there you go. She had that web presence out there that showed what she was all about, what she could do, and got hired. And obviously that sounds like a client also who knows what to look for and knows what they want, which is the story that you told just made me think of that as well, is having clients who know what they're doing is tremendously powerful, because they can go ahead. Someone, if he'd written that copy for someone else, they wouldn't have made over $1 million. So it wouldn't have been such a great success. Plus, that client is also connected with other people who know what they're doing. So that's more source of great quality clients. Because a lot of people think that they have to try to educate their potential client on why they need their service. But to me, sometimes it seems that you should find the people who know they already need you, because then it's easier to get them on board, and then also to help them get results so that they can keep hiring you.
Right. And it goes back to being found as well, being found out there and positioning yourself as the premium service. Right, that's the service. If you want to get premium clients, position yourself as the premium service, and you won't have to deal with people undercutting you on price. They'd be happily willing to pay you, what you're worth, because they're making money and they respect that you're the premium service in that market. And it also goes to show you that once you, it's kind of like a domino effect. Once you can get one client or one customer, you can actually use them to get referrals and use their success stories, and it kind of dominoes where more and more people start coming to you, and you have repeat customers. And that's how you really, one of the key ways to turn this into a full-time living. So you want to talk about some of the other success stories? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we've got lots of different things, but maybe we'll just run through a few different things. And in our group, we've been talking a lot about, you know, getting out of our comfort zone. So when we talked about that, we had Stephanie Watson, who did her first sales page. She always writes lots of content, but hasn't ventured into that way. Deanna Troop just yesterday opened up her PLR store, started working on it earlier in the week and has something going now very quickly. Penelope Butterworth finished her first book. And Jim Ruth actually has his writing site that we gave him a hand with. He's up and live and running. Carol Kimsey, Sherry Libby, Angela Tavendale, Richard Martin, and Karen Leung are nearly done, and we have quite a few more that are still in progress. So it's been great to see them getting going. And also Donald Brown and Zoe Hines also set up their own sites, got themselves up and running with the, they did that on their own through the step-by-step help that's available in the members area. Yvonne Jones, she wanted to move away from doing so many services, so she actually approached Fiverr from she actually sells pre-written content up there instead of offering her services, but has some gigs that are going quite well. And we love to hear the success stories too. If you're in your members area there and you look on the left side, there is something that says, tell us what you think. We'd love to hear what you're up to, how things have been going, what you think of the site as well, but more importantly, the things that you've done, because it's really inspiring for other members and potential members to see that. If you're in our Elite Writers Lab, you can post that on the Facebook group too. Always love to hear from you.
For sure. All right, so we were just in the members area, so let's go back there and talk about, let's see, what to focus on in the members area. I guess you can run through that. I mean, when you get to the members area, you start out on this main members area page. We have the 5 biggest obstacles you must overcome, the presentation we did for you guys. What would you say, what else, if someone's just getting started, what would you say they should focus on?
Yeah, I think if they go to the modules there, it kind of lays it out and kind of so they can start where they're ready. Because we do have some people who want to just make money right away. They need it for bills. They don't have time to wait to write a book and then start the sales to start building up. So that and actually backing up, can you go back to the modules? Sorry, I'm ahead of myself. And then some of people have already done the services and they want to get out of that, or they don't want to do that part at all. So you can see module 1 is kind of for everybody though. There's lots of great ideas on the writing markets. A lot of people may have picked up our free version of that, but this is the full version where we get more detail into the markets, what different things you can do there, whether it's offering a service or doing something more for passive income, how much you can expect to make, and then we move through. So if you need to get money right away, you do module 2, which says get paid now. Right there on the page you can see. If you're looking now to kind of you've got a bit more time, but you want to start developing your own presence, then you go to module 3, and module 4, the 4th one, will show you more about creating passive income, selling your books or information products, creating membership sites, doing things like selling private label rights content. Instead of working with one-on-one clients, you write the content ahead of time and sell it over and over again. And module 5 really is for everybody. It talks a lot about copywriting, which is an important skill for anybody trying to market their services. It doesn't matter if you're blogging and you don't think you need copywriting skills. That persuasive writing talents will serve you very well, even just for your blog writing and also for promoting your services. So definitely go through that. Then we have all the case studies, which are
Right. I think the main thing with the case studies is depending on what you're interested in doing, there's pretty much a case study in there for you. If you want to sell PLR content, Alice is pretty much the expert at that. She's been doing it for 13 years or so. You can go through her case study. She talks about how she does it. If you want to talk about being a ghostwriter for people, writing books, ghostwriting books, Annette.
Yeah, we have a few.
Yeah, we have a few different experts at that, right? But Annette has her case study talking about that. We have Brian Johnson talking about his success with Kindle. He has a specific system to crank out best-selling Kindle books and earn passive income from Amazon Kindle. Did you know that there are more Amazon Kindle sales now than regular hard copy or paperback sales on Amazon? More people are buying Amazon Kindle ebooks than regular books. It's a huge trend, a huge marketplace, and people are constantly buying books on there, and you can make a lot of passive income, whereas you publish a book once, or it could be a short report, like 40, 50 pages, publish it once, get paid over and over again. Derek Pankow, he's a freelancer. He talks about how to get freelance jobs. He was actually able to be a freelancer and travel the world, travel Europe, Asia, and the Caribbean while supporting that with his freelance writing income. And he talks about also how to position yourself as the premium service in your marketplace. Fred Stroppel, actually I just saw him today. He's a neighbor of mine, but he's also very accomplished. He was the head writer at Nickelodeon for the hit shows Oswald and Wow Wow Wubbzy, two kid shows that my kids absolutely love. And I didn't know he was the writer for it until a friend of mine introduced me to him. I'm like, wow, my kids love those shows. He's also written off-Broadway shows. So he's a screenwriter and a playwright and a children's television show writer, and he talks about how to break into that industry. Garnett Miller is another freelance writer. She kind of did it to pay her kids tuition. So she did it as a part-time thing just to raise extra money to pay her kids tuition, which is very inspiring. And you talk about Lynn Terry, who's a blogger and a super affiliate. She talks about what it takes to build an audience, how she finds new topics and new niches to go into, how she gets into different writing topics such as dining out, travel, or even childcare. So she's the expert in that. And then you have little old me talking about how I sold over 1 million books and ebooks and got featured on all these different shows, talking about publicity and list building. So that's really how to get the most out of your members area. And we have so much more in there. We have video lessons.
One sec, people are asking what PLR is, and maybe since we just mentioned it, and we're looking at doing some more stuff about that for people, but just it's private label rights content. So instead of writing for clients, you one-on-one with clients and they pay you for your work, you create same type of content. It could be blog posts, it could be reports, ebooks, or whatever, and then then you sell it to multiple customers, and they're aware that it's being sold to multiple customers, but they can edit it, they can add their name to it, they can customize it, they can monetize it, or whatever. But the beauty of it is that you get to decide what the topics are, you put the content out, and then your customers come to you and buy it. You're not at the mercy of the demands of what they want like when you're working one-on-one with the client, and you can make a lot more money because you could sell it over and over again.
Right. You get paid over and over again for work that you did once just by selling it to multiple clients, and they use the content as their own and repurpose it, rewrite it, do whatever they want with it. And that's what private label rights are. So you're kind of like a ghostwriter, but for a lot of people rather than just one person.
Right.
So yeah, the video lessons, I mean, we can go on and on. There's so much in this members area, but basically you follow those first tips, go through the modules, then go through the specific video case studies that you want to learn from. And if you can go through these video lessons on how to get jobs at these different sites. You can look through our job listings with the featured jobs, the daily jobs. So there's so many things you can do on there, but I would just get started on the main members page there, where it shows you step 1, step 2, things you should do to make it happen. So that's the members area. So let's go ask some more questions just to kind of get some interactivity going. So which would you rather have? 1,000 people paying you $100 a year each, or 100 people paying you $1,000 a year each? So would you rather have 1,000 people paying you $100 or 100 people paying you $1,000? Type your answer into the questions box, and I'll tell you which I prefer. What are people saying?
I don't know what happened.
Most people are saying B.
Backwards?
Some people are saying both.
Oh, I switched it backwards, yeah. Both works.
Yeah, Yeah, both. I say 100 people paying you $1,000 a year each. First of all, because $1,000 a year, you know, you're able to command higher prices than just that $100 a year, right? So you're a premium service, and you only have to deal with 100 people versus dealing with 1,000 people, right? So if you're selling a product, you know, 1,000 people are going to generate a lot more customer service inquiries than 100 people, right? And the other thing is, if you're selling at 1,000 versus selling at 100, you know, and 1,000 could be $83 a month if you're selling PLR or have a membership site where you're training people how to do stuff, or it could just be 100 people, you know, spending $1,000 with you over the course of the year. But those 100 people, you're able to give them more detailed level of support because it's only 100 of them versus 1,000 people where they're all over the place, right? So 10 times less people equals a better quality service you can provide, plus a higher end service and less headaches for you. So that's one of the things we talk about in the training.
And an interesting thing happens too when you charge more is that I think your work is more appreciated. The clients and customers who pay more tend to actually be happier than and more satisfied, which seems strange. You'd think that they would have higher, well, they probably do have, they'd have higher expectations, but maybe they have more realistic expectations. I'm not sure what it is or why it happens, but it is often much easier to work with those higher paying customers than others.
For sure, and they're usually more serious people as well.
True.
Yes. All right, let's go to the next thing. Next question here. What do you think is the main difference between a low-wage writer and one who commands premium prices? Or you could also say, you know, an author who doesn't sell many books versus a best-selling author. Would you say it's writing skills? Would you say it's education level? Or would you say it's online perception? And the funny thing, like, for people to say writing skills, I was talking to somebody, I think it was Fred actually, he was talking about how 50 Shades of Grey sold so many copies, with sold like millions of copies, but it's not really a well-written book. So it wasn't the writing skills that made that what it is, you know, and it definitely wasn't the education level because no one knew who this person was. And he's writing a book about, you know, that topic. You don't really need an education to talk about that topic. So it was really online perception, and that's the answer. Online perception. You are what you would perceive to be online, and we're going to talk about in a minute some ways to impact your online perception. If you're getting good reviews, if people perceive you as the expert, you're the expert. If people perceive you as a best-selling author with that, you know, everybody should buy your books, then you're that person. So online perception is everything in this business. We're going to talk about some ways to influence that. So next question, what's the number one thing people look for when they consider hiring you, buying your product, or using your service? What's the number one thing people look for when they consider hiring you, buying your product, or using your services? A, price comparisons versus similar alternatives. B, online reviews. C, experience. Type your answer in. So this goes back to what we were just talking about.
Smart. I see very few of the A answer, which, I mean, that's sometimes how we start out, but yeah, it's good. Lots of B's and C's, but go ahead, Ron, sorry.
Yeah, online reviews is the answer, more than anything else. People don't have time to really, you know, price compare. I mean, they do, but if it's something like a small product on Amazon or television or something, they'll price shop, but they'll still look at the online reviews, and that will be the biggest determining factor. They want to see what other people think, and they want to see what you know, what other people think about it. They want to see that social proof. They want to see that authority. They want to see, okay, is this person someone I could trust buying from? So that's really the main thing. And your perception online and how you present yourself is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So,
and
go ahead.
You switched again. Okay. I was thinking too, like, it's also the quality client or customer, because when it comes to selling your writing services, I think it actually does happen with a lot, but that isn't really the client that you want to work with. Someone who is looking for the cheapest service you're gonna work too hard because you're gonna have way more clients. You're not gonna be able to do as good a job, which ties into the slide before this, and it's something you kind of want to stay away from.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
So which one of these factors made you, so let's kind of test out that theory, right? Which one of these factors made you want to join Writer Help Wanted the most? Was it A, you price checked similar products and thought ours was a good deal? B, you have lots of money and just buy everything you see? Or C, that's a good problem to have, right? Or C, you saw that we were credible experts who could help you succeed, and we had a specialty going on at Writer Help Wanted that you thought that could really help you personally based on our credibility, our expertise, and what we displayed, our presentation, right? So which one do you think it is, A, B, or C? I see most people typing in C. Yeah, C for sure. It's definitely C. I mean, unless, maybe it's B. Maybe you have lots of money and you just buy everything you see. But it just
Yeah,
goes,
and you're
it goes to show you that the way you present yourself is everything. So that brings us to the main point. To succeed as a writer, you need to be found online and you need to be taken seriously. So how do you do that? How do you get found online? How do you become taken seriously? We're going to show an actual example of this, right? So step one, find your target market and unique selling proposition. So Alice, do you mind if we use you as an example of one of your latest projects?
sure.
Okay. Find your target market. So Alice has this site.
Yeah, you're going to go to
Yeah.
foodaplenty.com, I guess?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, as we talked about, I have a few PLR sites, and a couple of them are kind of more general, and and because I started quite early, I was able to get a lot of customers that way. But now the market's quite different, and specializing in a certain niche or something is kind of important. So that's what we've done and we've gone beyond just providing the content, but that's a large part of what we do. But I've partnered with somebody who has great tech skills, so we've gone beyond and done more things that we can do to help them. So we're a great source for food bloggers. Typically, it's a labor of love for them, but they aren't always sure how to monetize their content and how to make money with the food blogging, and we help them with that, where a lot of other people who help food bloggers teach them how to be popular on social media and get lots of people who like them, but not that money component. So that's what we do for them.
Right, so that was your niche. You found a niche, you found food bloggers, you provided a writing service for that niche, which is creating content, providing photos that they can use for their food blogs, and you teach them how to market their food blogs. So you found a niche that you can provide a service for and be the provider, the content provider for. So that just ties into finding your target market and your unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition, we provide you content that you can actually use for your food blog, right? Not many people are doing it at that micro niche of a level, I suppose.
Yeah, and then also adding that puzzle, the piece of making money from it, not just publishing, which is what a lot of people do, but giving them that. And I think when it comes to and should we explain maybe what a unique selling proposition is briefly as well, maybe for people who might not know? Or
yeah, unique selling position is kind of how you position your product or your service or your book in the market as something that's unique, something that's valuable, something that's not being offered elsewhere, and it's either based on your expertise, your pricing, something about your product, your service. Is it unique? Is it something different about it that other people aren't providing? It's what separates you from the competition. It's your main thing that makes people want to buy your product.
Yeah, and you mentioned price too, but when it comes to if you're doing a writing service, then that was, scratch that USP out the window. And for most, online business owners, solopreneurs, and we're small time. We can let the people, Walmart and other people compete on price. We'll do, focus a different place. Is it some way that you communicate with your clients, or something extra that you do for them? Or how accurate you are, or thorough, all these different things that you can look at, and how you serve them well, how you make their lives easier. Always try to think about that.
Right. So that's step one, finding your target market. And it doesn't have to be what Alice is doing. This is just an example, a real live example that we practice what we preach, and this is what we're doing. Step two, register a marketable domain name. So Food Aplenty. I mean, that's a marketable domain name, bringing abundance to your food blog. So you see, it has a slogan and a marketable domain name that's memorable. I mean, it comes like I think of it right away when I think of food content or content for food bloggers, foodaplenty.com.
Yeah, and that's more of a, like, that's kind of a made-up word, which is one way to go. And then there's also more like, and someone actually commented earlier that I think you'll be very happy because I know you love the Writer Help Wanted name. They said that they signed up because of the name.
Boom, Writer Help Wanted.
So that's, that's more of a kind of a literal name as opposed to, something made up or different, but also a good name there. Something that people will remember.
It's also a nice homepage.
Very nice, except for that stuff that moves around. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
I made this one static, and I just made the other one.
Oh, nice. It's just the button there that moves, which probably gets attention, right?
That's awesome. You want to bring attention to the button. Check that out. Check out that continue button. Boom, boom. So yeah, marketable domain name, Writer Help Wanted. It could be a descriptive domain name like that, Writer Help Wanted, like looking for writers, people, jobs for writers, gigs for writers, things like that. I mean, Writer Help Wanted, that's what you think of when you think. It's easy to remember and it ties right in. I was actually surprised that it was available, but luckily it was.
Haytham has a question, and I think it's related to the step one, and I think it's a very good question, and I think he's asking if by, sort of getting specific in our target market when you're starting out, doesn't that reduce your ability to get clients and get projects? And I think that if you're looking for just to kind of get your feet wet, start doing the freelance sites and getting jobs that way. But when you're working on your website, you want to be more specific, because you won't be able to stand out in any way. If you're just another ghostwriter, or you're just another copywriter who doesn't have something unique that you do or a unique audience that you serve, you'll get passed over.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's much easier. There's much less competition, and when you find a niche, when you find a target market, than if you try to go after everybody, right? And people want people that specialize in exactly what they need, exactly what they're looking for, right? So if you're a food blogger, just to go back to that same example, do you want to buy content that you can use for your blog from some generic site that's selling content for everybody, or do you want to buy content from foodaplenty.com that's specifically selling that for food bloggers like you? So you can see how that specificity helps. It's a unique selling proposition. It helps you be more valuable, more attractive to that person. They're giving you exactly what you're looking for.
And that's not my first site doing that type of work, right? And obviously as a beginner, you're not going to set up multiple sites. You're going to go one step at a time. But there are opportunities to build and do other things. And, as you hire people to help you, you can expand and grow and go into those different markets.
Right, for sure. I mean, if someone's looking for a writer, right? If someone's trying to hire a writer, and a writer that specializes in political topics, right? Are they going to go for someone who's just a generic writer of everything, or are they going to go for someone who writes on political topics, right? It's so many different examples you could use for that, but I would say you could...
And don't go too specific, I guess. I mean, you got to make sure you have, there are people out there that want the service. That's obviously very important. So,
Right. Make sure there's a demand, but be the special provider for those folks, and you'll have an edge over the competition who's just trying to do a generic type of thing. So we have that register a marketable domain name in step 2. Step 3, set up a professional website with effective features and samples of your work. So let's see if Alice passes that test. All right, she has, it looks professional looking. I like this background. All right, Food Aplenty. It has your social media thing happening up there.
That's Lynette's background. I'm not surprised you like it.
All right. It looks professional. You come here, you can't tell if it's done in somebody's basement or if it was done, you know, with some $10,000 web designer. You have your testimonials here. You have examples of your work. I mean, I think it passes that test. You have a call to action here. That's one of the main things too. You want to have a call to action. When people come to your site, they're just like looking around, browsing, clicking. You want to tell them exactly what they want to do. And it's like, boom, right in their face, free. Register to download immediately. Immediately. Right now.
Immediately.
That's the call to action right there. Immediately. So yeah, it passes that test. So that just shows an example. It has to look professional, wants to have effective features. I'm going to show you another example of sites like this that we set up for clients that has these features, and we're going to run through some of the features in a minute. Step 4, add the credibility factors, the reviews, the alliances. We talked about that a bit as well. You had your testimonials on there. Let's look at some of the testimonials. You have your section here. You know, you have actually the pictures of people too. Oh, and you could pin that. Nice. You could pin that on pictures. Nice.
And we're always very kind of, I formalize the process of collecting testimonials. I ask for them on the download pages and encourage people to come and submit those, and then my virtual assistant, she gets the submissions and she puts them up for us on regularly. They're not just on that page though too. I believe when you're looking at different pages in the site, it's on the sidebar as well. So we use them wherever we can to give that social proof to others.
Yep.
I better not be lying about that. Yes, it's there. And it just rotates. If you refresh the page, a different one should appear.
Oh, awesome. Nice. Yeah, so that's step 4. You want to have your credibility factors. Hopefully you guys are taking notes on all this. Step 5, you want to optimize your site and your brand to be found in the search engines. So let's see if Alice passes that test, right? So we're going to go let's go to Google.
You're already there, I think.
I'm going to do a search. If someone's looking for food PLR, does Alice come up?
Funny story that Food Aplenty actually isn't there because we decided to kind of brand it a little differently where we don't call it PLR when we want it, because we think food blogging is often very personal and people are hesitant to use something. It's an internet marketing term, but I don't need to explain all that here. But
that's your site.
I do have 2 sites listed here, yes, on the first page, and one of the sites is a site that I helped set up for my friend.
Right, so you have your all private label content, that's your site, and what's the other one?
The DIY PLR, a couple more down.
Oh, there you go. So she has 2
and
listings.
2 up is my friend's site. So.
And she's being really modest here, right? But this is a main keyword term that people looking for PLR in the food niche would be looking for, food PLR. And Alice has 2 of the top 10 listings on that page. That's pretty spectacular if you ask me. So it just goes to show she knows what she's doing in terms of ranking sites. And I mean, if you search for something generic like Food Aplenty, I'm sure she would come up first.
Better, I hope so.
Yeah. There you go, Food Aplenty. And you know you're good at optimizing for the search engines when you have this like big multiple listing thing happening when someone searches. Let's look for one of my sites. Let's see if I still come up. Secrets.net. I got like a bunch of different listings. So I mean, at the very least, if someone's looking for you and your name, you want to come up, right? So this is my Simon & Schuster page. This is my...
And that's pretty good because you have a very generic name. There must be just a few Ron Douglases out there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Ron Douglases, and they all hate me because I rank ahead of them. I have the Simon & Schuster thing right here. I have my YouTube video. I have Amazon, my books here. There's another Ron Douglas. I have my main homepage here. So you can see I'm dominating. I have my Recipe Secrets site, 2 listings. So I'm dominating for that keyword. When someone searches Ron Douglas, I pretty much can control what they see about me, right? So that's what you want to be able to do. And we're going to show you exactly how to do it and how we can help you do that as well. So some of the tips about being optimized in the search engines is you want to have a good structure, a good SEO structure for your site. You know, we like to use WordPress, which kind of comes out the box with proper SEO structure. And when we set up sites for clients, they have that proper SEO structure and you want to have a domain name. Like people should be able to search your domain name and your domain come up in the first, the first results. And that's important too. I mean, you want to have a domain name that people can remember, because a lot of people don't type in www. They just go right to Google and type in the domain name and find it that way. So that's another thing you want to.
My kids search that way. I'm like, why are you going to Google to search for? Why don't you just type that in the top in the browser? And they search for the websites first.
Yeah, it's like taking an extra step for no reason. Right? You
Yes,
go right to the site. What are some other tips you want to have?
And they're good with computers, so I'm sure lots of other people do that.
Yeah, for sure. What are some other tips you want to have? Links
I mean,
from relevant sites. Back to you.
I mean, so yeah, for a service site where you're selling a service, so a lot of those phrases can be very competitive if you're trying to compete, for copywriting or something like that. That's tough, but also adding content. So, having a blog or something where you're readily adding content that would be of interest to a potential client, so you can draw them in that way, get them onto your mailing list, and then sell your services.
Right. And a lot of it sounds intimidating to a lot of folks. Like, I have to have a site. First, I have to create a site, and then I have to have search engine optimization and all this stuff. And, we're going to show you an option that we could help you do some of this stuff, because we're pretty good at it. So let's show you a sample client website, like the type of site that we build for clients. Let me show you. So if you go to writerhelpwanted.com/demo, and we have two different types of sites, and I'm going to show you both of those sites. This is one of my sites, my main site. But let's go to, so we have a site that we offer for people that want to have writing services or sell PLR and things like that. And we have a site that we offer for people that want to have want to be an author. So as you can see there,
backwards, I think. You're on the writing service one.
Yeah, this is the writing services site. So we'll show you this one first. So these are the type of sites we build for clients. Right? It looks professional, and all of this, everything you see here is customizable. So you could put your text here, whatever your service might be. That instead of professional writing services would have your domain name or your writing services. So some of the pages, you have a services page that lists your services, right? State of the art, looks modern, has your available services with these drop downs. I mean, when someone sees this type of site, they're like, okay, this looks like the real deal, right? When you see this, it just looks like, you have what your clients are saying. This is the type of person I want to hire. It's not some rinky-dink site. It's professional looking. And to get something like this created might cost you thousands and thousands of dollars. But we have a system down pat where we create these type of sites for clients. So that's the services. You have your About Us page. All right, pull in a picture of yourself, about you, so it presents you in the best possible way, and has a testimonial from someone there saying good things about you. And then all these pages have a call to action, right? Get a quote for your project. So it has a function here where people can submit details about the project that they want to do and contact you directly, and you'll get an email right directly to your site. You could also have your contact information over here. If you have a phone number you want people to call, that's fine. If not, they don't have to call your phone number. You don't have to have an address and business shown, but it's just a suggestion. You have portfolio, like a sample of your work. Right here. So all of this is customizable, and this comes with a back end. And just ignore this black bar up here, because I'm logged into the admin section, and all of these pages are, through the easy back end, you can customize. So say if I wanted to edit this page, I click edit the page, and I can edit any of the content on that page. I can edit the text of that page just right there.
Yep. And this is for people who are familiar with WordPress, this looks a little bit different than normal, and it's what allows you to do those really nice layouts and those special features with with the little icons, and lays it out really nicely for you, which is tough to do unless you know HTML and CSS, which, and if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it, because you don't need to. But you can also add that to it. Like it could be as simple as you want to work with, or you can do really complex even fancier things with it.
Right. If you wanted to create a new page on your site, you just click Add New. This is all on the state-of-the-art WordPress. It's like the simplest thing you could actually use. You can give your page a name, if you wanted to call it sample page. And then you could just type here, just like you're typing in Word. You would type right here. And then you could, space down. You could do whatever you want. You could, change the text. You could make a heading, make that big. You could make it small. You can underline. It's just like kind of like dealing in Word. Wait a minute, how'd that happen? Alice is like, oh no. So it just shows you how easy it is. And that's just an example. Let's go back to the main site here. Leave that page. And then when you click, you just click publish and it appears on your page. So, and it comes with a contact form as well where people can contact. I think I showed that already.
Yep.
So those are some of the features. I mean, you could upload videos to it. It comes automatically linked. And this is a good thing with certain.
It is WordPress, right?
Yeah.
So I think someone is asking again.
This is a good thing with the with search engine rankings as well. You want to have your social media properties linked to your site from and to your site. So, social factors is the main criteria as well. So you want to have a Facebook page, and we'll show you how to set all that up as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what else
lots of videos on how everything works too. So, we do help with getting it set up, but then it could be customized any way you want. But we, walk you through each different page, how you can edit it, how you can change it.
Yeah. We train you on how to use these sites as well if you want to get one of these sites done.
Because that's a nice thing too, if you pay someone to do a site for you and then you're also at the mercy of them for updating it for you, then it not only can it get expensive that way, but also it means you have to wait for them, and that's the beauty of having an online business, is being able to change things, do a special right away or do something different or test out new things and do that on your own.
Right, and it comes with your own blog as well, so you could make blog posts on there. Is an example of what a blog post might look like. And also it comes with this image library. We give you the rights to all of these different images you see, and a whole different library of images that you can use. And this is something that's like the latest trend, I think, with blogging, is you have your title there, title of your blog post, and you have an image right below it. And then you start with your content. And I think
very visual.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that they do that is Google has this algorithm. Now, this is like an inside tip I'm going to give you guys. Google has this algorithm. Like if someone comes to your page and leaves right away, they say, okay, the person is not interested in your page and your page is not good. But if someone comes to your page and scrolls down, they could tell the person is scrolling down if they came from Google and land on the page. And if they stay on the page for a certain amount of time, Google says, okay, well, they were interested in this page. The algorithm automatically says this page must be important, so I'm going to rank this page higher, right? So putting an image like that at the top makes people scroll down and makes people kind of like get into the habit of reading the content on the page, and it indicates to Google, okay, the time on the site, and also they scroll down below the fold, so they must have been interested in that page.
Yeah, and with a lot of social sharing and stuff, when people post it to Facebook, the image is there, and it makes the link that people share show more, or if they're pinning it to Pinterest, which a lot of people do as well. So, having that there is certainly good in many ways, which that helps your search engine rankings as well, because if people are sharing your content, Google loves that.
For sure. And some of the other functionality on these sites that we create for clients is you could create invoices where you send an invoice to a client right from the control panel. It comes with this all these built-in functions, all these built-in coding functions that we have coded through plugins that you can use. It comes with a project manager plugin, an Orthobox plugin, a invoicing and tracking payment system, an editorial calendar.
Yeah, that's really great for service providers, the invoicing, and you can keep track of everything and make payment links, and it's really, really handy.
Right. I mean, it comes with all these different plugins. The plugins indicate the functionality, and if you seem a little intimidated by all this, we're gonna train you on how to use all this stuff. It's really simple, but it's already been done for you. It's just a matter of figuring out how you want to use it. It comes with these terms of service and privacy policies that's been approved by attorneys, so kind of keep you a little bit out of hot water. Although we're not attorneys ourselves, but we use those. What else? You have your short code.
Yeah, and Karen mentions too that that it's very mobile friendly and it adapts to different devices as well. So
right,
that's even taken care of as well.
Right, because the trend is also people are viewing websites on their mobile phone. So you definitely have to have your thing mobile friendly, and you don't have to worry about that with these sites that we do. It has a security plugin to prevent people from hacking into your site. Project manager plugin there where you can manage projects if you have people working for you, or you just want to use it for yourself with an editorial calendar. So so many different functions. We could spend like an hour just on that. So let me show you the author site as well. We create sites for authors as well. So this would be jenniferadams.com, just a sample site. It would have her blog about her, has a link to her books, get the books, talks a little bit about her.
This is a made-up site, but it's an example of a USP. She's the funny picture, and it shows what she's about. She helps people get organized and be more productive, as opposed to a lot of people who do an author site will just say, hey, I'm an author and these are my books, and it just gives something a little bit different to it. People may not want to be silly or do that. That's not necessary, but it just brings something different that people aren't expecting.
Right. You have the reviews here, what people are saying about her book. So if you're an author, you want to have a site promoting your book, and because people could find that in the search engines, people can go there, leave comments. So it definitely looks more professional if you have a site. And you could also have a mailing list, which is important because you want to get people on your mailing list if you want to ever do an additional book, do a part 2 or, another book in that series, a series of books. You could always email the folks that got your first book, and they're more than likely to buy the second one. Or you can get people on your email list by giving away a free sample chapter of your book. One of the most important things to do is actually build buzz ahead of time. Let people know that your book is coming ahead of time, so that once it is released, you can get a surge of sales because they're anticipating it coming out, and you get them on your email list and say it's coming, you give them samples of what's coming, and then the day it comes out, you say, boom, here it is, grab it now, it's on sale, get it on Amazon or get it wherever, and then you get a surge of sales, which makes your book rank really high in the marketplace, whether it be Amazon, BarnesandNobles.com, or whatever marketplace, ranks really high because you have that surge of sales, and then more people start seeing that in the marketplace, and then it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, a domino effect of sales for you. So that's how you do it. You don't just want to put out a book and then nobody knows about it and then you start marketing it. No, you want to market ahead of time. You want to have your site. You want to build an email list, and that's one of the things you one of the ways. And I talk about that on the site as well. So yeah, that's the author site. The author site has pretty much all the same functionality as the other site, as the writer site, but it's more for authors. So you can customize it, and we help you with that as well. We help you customize it with some of our packages. So those are the client website.
Yeah, and help you figure out that target market and USP and all that stuff. Yeah. Figure out how to fill out the different parts of the site.
Right, for sure. So if you wanted to do this on your own, I'm just going to give you an example of how much it might cost. If you wanted to create these type of sites on your own, a domain name would be just $10 a year. But the reliable hosting, if you want to get reliable hosting, it might be $199 a year. And these are conservative numbers. You want to get a logo done, it could cost you $299. You want to get your WordPress configured with a professional theme, that would be $125. If you want to get coding and customizations done for your site, I mean, the coding and customizations that we've shown you and the examples cost a lot more than 500, but I just put 500 there. You could hire a coder to get that done. You want to get your social media set up and integration, get someone to set all that up for you. That'd be $250. And if you want to do search engine optimization, some basic SEO, it could be upwards of $5,000, but I just put, $999 for that. And the total cost would be $2,382 if you wanted to do it yourself. But the biggest question is, how much is your time worth? Do you want to spend time, getting all this stuff done, managing all this stuff, trying to learn all this stuff from scratch, right? How much is your time really worth? That's the biggest expense. So we can help you set all this up. But the thing is, and we've done this before, it's very labor intensive. So right now we only have staffing to accept 10 people if you want to get this done. We're accepting 10 people here tonight on this call. If you want to have all that stuff done, you want to have your writer service site or your PLR site or your author site done for you, if you want to have the best possible presence online, have people finding you in the search engines, we can help you with that. We can do it for you. We have two options for you, two options that we can do it for you. Let me show you those options. Let's see, where did my page go? All right, here we go. So we have two packages for writers, freelancers, and authors. The first package, well, let's go through the Success Fast Track package first. Not sure why I don't just reverse these, but okay. So the Success Fast Track package it's a done for you package. It's for people that want everything done for them pretty much. If you want our team to work with you, you want to get private support to help you succeed faster. And if you're kind of like new to all this stuff, technically challenged maybe, and don't really feel like configuring and figuring all this stuff out yourself, this is the package for you. It comes with domain and hosting account setup, 2 years of free hosting, updates, and support, fully functioning service site and blog, just like we showed you. We create the social media site integrated for you as well. We do your on-page search engine optimization so people can find you best when people search in Google. We have training videos on how to customize your site to use all of its powerful features. And it's not as difficult as it seems. The videos really make it easy. You can get also membership in our preferred vendor network to be listed on our site to get free advertising. You get lifetime membership to our Elite Writers Lab, which we talked about a lot. Most of those, I would say all of those success stories came from our Elite Writers Lab. So you get lifetime membership, which is typically, how much is it? Typically $27 a month. Yep. Ongoing, but you get a lifetime membership. You never have to pay again to that. You get 2 group training sessions to help you come up with your target market, your unique selling proposition. So this is really, really coaching, where we're coaching you to find your target market, your unique selling proposition, and you get step-by-step help for brainstorming your website content to help you grow your business.
Yeah, and that's a small group too, so it's very interactive. You can get feedback, you can ask, have every question answered, and it, really gives you that step-by-step help.
Yes, exactly. And we actually complete the content on your site to get you up and running based on the information gathered in the training sessions. Our team works with you. You also get 10 hours of work from a virtual assistant to help you customize your site, get it ranked, and anything else you want the virtual assistant to help you with. Maybe write content, whatever you want the virtual assistant to help you with. So that's the Success Fast Track package. So kind of get in mind, get an idea of which one of these packages you want to go with. The Self-Starter package, that's a professional package more for members who prefer to do some of the configuration and customization work themselves following our instructions. We kind of tell you what to do, where to find things, but you kind of, you want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
the site will be set up so it looks like those sites that you saw, either the author one or writer one, but then you go in and kind of fill in the blanks with your information. So
right.
People are familiar with WordPress and maybe don't need that extra help. But again, with the Success Fast Track, we're going to help you out with the figuring out that target market, unique selling proposition and stuff, that really important stuff too.
Right. So you pretty much get most of this stuff. I mean, you get the domain and hosting account set up, you get the free hosting, you get the service site and blog, you get the social media integration. Well, we don't create the accounts, we just integrate them in this level. Mm-hmm. We'll show you how to create it. You get the SEO help. You get the training videos, you get the membership in our preferred vendor network for the free advertising, and you also still get the lifetime membership to our elite Writers Lab. But you don't get the, done for you customizations and things like that, and the virtual assistant support. So this is really for people that want to do some of it themselves, that are a little bit more technically inclined, that probably have worked with WordPress before and just want us to set up the nice theme and everything, that all the functions and everything that we set up for them. So with those two packages, kind of envision which one is for you. Are you more of the one that wants to kind of do some of it yourself, or you want everything done for you? So those are the two options. So we have 10 spots available. What you want to do now, grab one of those spots. So first, let me show you. I mean, as I mentioned, $2,382 to do it yourself, right? If you want to have all this stuff done for you, and then it's no guarantee you're going to succeed because you don't have any support with that. You're kind of just on an island by yourself, spending $2,400. Or we're accepting 10 people right now with two options. Go to writerhelpwanted.com/pro, and let me show you how much it costs. So you're not going to spend the $2,400 like I showed you. If you want to get this by the end of this presentation, it's not going to be $2,400. The Fast Track Success Package is only $1,499. One payment of $1,499, or you can do that over three payments of $519. So you can see you're saving a lot of money, and you have, if you're serious about having a presence online, doing this business, making money, making a living from your writing, this is like chump change. Just consider it an investment where you're going to be making money back. It's not just you spend it one time, you're out the money. You have our coaching, our support, and everything that we listed here. And also, if you want to do the self-starter package, then it's one payment of $499 or three payments of $179. So those are the packages. We're going to go into some Q&A now. But if you're interested, go to writerhelpwanted.com/pro, and hopefully you'll be one of the 10 to grab it, because we're only accepting 10 people, because that's all the staffing that we have at this time to get that done within the next month or so. That's going to take us to get all this work done, because it's very labor intensive. So go to writerhelpwanted.com/pro.